So we're only a few days away from a brand new season of NBA basketball, but amidst the excitement, it's easy to forget where teams stand with injuries, offseason moves, and expectations heading into next season. Yeah, the Rockets made the big move for KD, but just a few weeks ago, they lost Fred VanVleet for the entire season and have to adjust their already brand new playstyle. Anthony Simons is a Celtic, D'Angelo Russell is a Maverick, Cam Johnson is in 3-and-D heaven, and MPJ is in shot-chucking hell. Kasparis Jakushonis is looking like the first Miami Heat point guard of all time, and the Derek Queen trade is already becoming the worst trade of all time before a single game has been played. There have been so many changes this offseason that may have flown under your radar, and so I will be recapping everything that happened for all 30 NBA teams, and then I'll make my predictions for the entire season. Everything from records to standings to awards, even down to the in-season tournament. So without further ado, let's catch you up to speed on everything you need to know before the 2025-2026 NBA season. Alright, I lied. One further ado. Just go ahead and make sure you're subscribed for me because I'll be doing weekly NBA videos for the entirety of the season and you don't want to miss it. You like basketball, right? I mean, you clicked on this video, right, man? Sorry, I shouldn't assume you're a man, you know. Shout out to all of my basketball women out there, all of my women who are fans of basketball. Asia Wilson is a very good basketball player. Let's just get into the video. First up is the Atlanta Hawks, and the Hawks are one of those teams to keep an eye out east this year for sure. Finally getting Trae Young some tangible help with the addition of Porzingis, and an addition that kills me as a Wolves fan in Nickeil Alexander-Walker for some much needed depth. Flawless fleece with the Derek Queen trade. I like the Drake Powell steal. They honestly had a picture-perfect draft for what they wanted, and as for departures, I don't really hate any of these. My record prediction for them is 46-36, aka the 5 seed out east. Next is the Celtics, and the C's are in a bit of a retool year with no Tatum, yet somehow managed the best possible offseason. I damn near threw my phone across the room when I saw they got Anthony Simons for pennies on the dollar, and then they went and picked up Luka Garza, who some might have forgot is one of the best developing offensive pieces in the league, who also can't play defense. But I didn't forget. Us Wolves fans never forget the talent that rots on our bench until they get minutes on an actual good basketball team. I'm interested to see if he'll get minutes. Him and Hugo Gonzalez, who they took 28th. He could be nasty with some development, and the Celtics pretty much only have this year before they're back in contention, so they can take all the development they want. And as for their departures, I mean, yeah, ouch. But these big names really aren't going to do you any good without Tatum and are rapidly debilitating in value. So Stevens somehow managing to be able to sell high on them, yeah, he's a genius. Still no Tatum, however, so I'll give them a 39-42 record. Good for 9th out east. After that comes the Nets, and first off, their draft class was ew. Their additions, ew. Their departures, ew. This team is so sinisterly awful and will be this way until they have multiple high draft picks and can draft their way out of the hell. Sorry, what was that? They had five in the first round this year and in a loaded draft class and still came away with poop, doo-doo, and shit. Yeah, 14-68, worst team in the league by far this year. Next up, we got the Hornets. I honestly respect all of the moves they made. My favorite is definitely adding Sexton, but they've still got no culture or identity, so they won't be too good this year. That being said, I love the talent they sniped this draft. Knipple isn't all NBA upside, but he's a solid piece, which they need to start building something there. And I also think Sion James is one of the most slept-on defenders at the guard position in this draft, and Kalkbrenner is size and shooting, which you can't get enough of in the NBA. Hornets fans, this is nothing to write home about, but I like that we're making upwards moves instead of, 27 days, 27 nights. That being said, 27 wins. That's my prediction. The Bulls did a nice job in keeping what works and deciding to ride it out and trust Matas this year, who could very well turn things around completely in Chicago. Especially with good young defensive ballers around him like Noah Ascent could very well become... sorry, I just can't believe in Ascent anymore with this picture existing. Brutal, dog. 35-47 is my guess. Not the breakout year you fans are hoping for as they get 11th and miss the play-in, but it's definitely a start. The Cavs are switching up what worked for the regular season in losing Ty Jerome, but I'm a diehard Lonzo truther and choose to believe that he will keep the foot on the gas for Cleveland off the bench. I like the drafting of Tyrese Proctor here. I think he could be something good later on, and I think they'll be a great regular season team, but maybe a little less depth will hinder their record a bit, so 59-23, give them the 2 seed. The Dallas Dallas Mavericks got Cooper Flag. Boo, we all hate Nico, but I like what Nico was cooking this offseason, honestly. D'Angelo Russell is a nice fake Kyrie to kick the season off while he's injured, and keeping PJ Washington is always a good thing. Also, Dennis Smith Jr. is here. Yeah, as in the guy from the J. Cole verse. I predict that the Mavs will finish 46-36 and steal a 9th seeded play-in spot to really piss off the teams that will fall just a game below them, especially because the West is so stacked and no one wants to see this man get his way. The Nuggets just made championship moves. The Nuggets got Brucey B back. Championship move. They got Hardaway for a much-needed backup 1. Championship move. They replaced a shooter with no defense and awful decision-making with a more consistent shooter with more consistent defense. Championship move. They got a starting caliber backup big in Jonas Valanciunas. Championship move. The Nuggets drafted nobody. Good. They don't want to redirect any more valuable minutes on a team that's contending. That's a championship move. The Nuggets might have had the greatest offseason of any team and will be the only real rival to the Thunder this season. I predict they'll go 55-27 and earn the 3 seed heading into the playoffs. I didn't love some of the Pistons' departures, but they got the shooting they lost in Malik Beasley back in Duncan Robinson. They did all they needed to do. Not much to talk about, but I love them drafting Chaz Lanier, though. That man is a dog of a second-round pick. It's a weak East, and Cade's got the keys. That sounds good to me. I'll give them the 4th seed with a record of 49-23. The Warriors were faced with potentially the most pivotal offseason late into Stephen Curry's career up to this point, and so they signed a senior citizen. And Curry's brother, I guess. Hey, but at least they drafted who they drafted? Oh. Nobody? Yeah. I'll give them an uneventful 47-25, 8th seeded season in what will mark the beginning of reckoning for what's next in Golden State post Stephen Curry. The Rockets had easily the biggest offseason of any team in the league and maybe any team in the past couple of years. They didn't have a single bad addition. I don't completely love what losing Dillon Brooks as a defensive piece and Cam Whitmore in the back pocket leaving with so much potential does for them, but they don't have the space to develop him anyways, and Dillon Brooks, I mean, it's Dillon Brooks, come on. Now that Fred VanVleet is out for the rest of the season, I think what will make or break this team is one man. Not Amen Thompson, not Şengün, not even Kevin Durant, but Reed Shepherd. Look, hear me out. This team has the defense, but with no VanVleet, they've lost shooting and leave all their playmaking up to Durant. I'm not saying give Reed Shepherd the keys as a playmaker or even a point guard, but if Kevin Durant can have a lethal shooter at his disposal to take some of the defensive pressure off of him, and meanwhile Şengün can continue to playmake from the inside, this team won't miss a beat. I'll give them a record of 63-19, good for 2nd in the West. The Pacers have no Tyrese. They lost Miles Turner. They didn't add anything of note, and this just isn't their year, plain and simple. Also, stop saying Nembhard is going to be an all-star. It's only you guys who just watched him in the playoffs or that one ISO clip from Game 1 on Shea. Nembhard is not having the MIP breakout season you expect, so just stop that, okay? Let's stop that. If anything, you should be strictly watching Benedict Mathurin if you're watching the Pacers this season. That's right, just watch Benedict Mathurin. He is going to be a star one day. 33-49, 12th seed out East. LA has quickly become a retirement home for washed players. They got Bradley Beal, who will be better than he was for the Suns at least. I like John Collins here. Brook Lopez is another great winning piece. And so is Chris Paul, who will make a surprisingly large impact that we will somehow find a way to be surprised by. I mean, he's been doing this for the past 5 years. Norman Powell is a huge loss, but this team wouldn't fit his play style anyways. They're going to be a fun team to watch in the sense that they're a who's who of 7 out of 10 NBA players who used to be 8.5 out of 10 NBA players, and unfortunately the West is too packed for them to escape the play-in. I'll give them a record of 49-33, getting the top seed in the play-in tournament, which is insane for an almost 50-win team. I love Marcus Smart, and I really hope DeAndre Ayton will be the answer at center that the Lakers have been searching for years for. It's LeBron's magical 23rd season, maybe even Luka's first MVP. The Lakers could just be magic to watch this season. That being said, I'm just excited for the unfathomable slander that will come about from DeAndre Ayton, the most volatile and easy to rip player in the league, being broadcasted for all the world to see on a nightly basis since he's a Laker, especially when the playoffs roll around with that Vigil AI stuff. Oh my god, it's gonna be great. The world will finally bear witness to the truly unruly shenanigans of dominating, and they're gonna tear him apart. I'll give the Lakers 52-30 and the 4th seed in the West. You can't be bad with Luka Doncic. I hated the Desmond Bane trade for the Grizzlies. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I don't care about the picks. I really hated it. They're gonna pay for it, and they're gonna come to regret it. They traded both of the players I was excited to see them develop too. I think Will Richard is super underrated, and yeah, not much to say for the Grizzlies. They've been on a constant downtrend since Ja got injured in round 2 of 2022. I'll give them a record of 42-40, just missing the play-in tournament. The Miami Heat were a team I was not at all expecting to have a good offseason in any way, shape, or form, as they've been making no noise in the Jimmy Butler era. But hey, he's gone now, and they surprised me. Norman Powell was a fleece of an addition. I like getting Davion back. I like Precious Achiuwa. I love getting rid of Kyle Anderson, and Kasparis Jakushonis has looked like an incredible playmaking offensive piece thus far into the preseason, so I love that pick for them. They could really develop him into something special, especially with what they've done with Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and Tyler Hero in recent years. Yeah, they're not going to be great just yet, but the Heat absolutely killed it this offseason and are starting to set their footing and establish an identity for the future. I'll give them 37-45 for their record, 10th seed in the East. The Bucks make me mad. They're not doing anything for Giannis, and it sucks. Miles Turner is a pretty good snipe, but he's not winning you a championship. He might get you one game away from a championship, but yeah, he's not winning you a championship. His decision-making sucks. They lost out heavy on the Dame experiment. They need more talent, but they draft a dude named fucking Bogoljub. This dude's name is Bogoljub. You drafted a dude named Bogoljub. You looked on a long, expansive list of prospects and you put your finger on Bogoljub. You're going to have to face your fans and explain that, yeah, it was a bust. We selected Bogoljub. Sorry, guys. We really thought Bogoljub was going to be the next star. And I swear to God, if this dude turns out to be good at basketball and I get pieced together with a Bogoljub edit in a few years with a damn Bogoljub edit, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm just not excited for this team at all. 41-41, and the 8th seed is what I'll give them. Sorry, what was that? They re-signed Thanasis 82-0. Next question. I'm a Timberwolves fan, so I'll try not to be biased on my take here. 82-0. Next question. Nah, I'm kidding. Look, it was between Nas, Randall, and Nikhil this offseason, and one had to go, and I think we definitely made the right choice, but man, we're at a crossroads where things could go really south for the Timberwolves here, especially when the West is only getting better and only getting younger around them. That being said, I love Yohan Beninge. He's the next Gobert for sure. He is so incredibly talented, and all we need to do is develop him. And developing talent is our specialty. Just ask Leonard Miller and his 49 seconds of playing time last season. It's whatever this season. The Wolves will be good. I just really hope Rob Dillingham turns into the next De'Aaron Fox Kentucky guard and not Ty Washington Kentucky guard. 50-32. I'll say 50-32. Good for the 6th seed in a stacked Western Conference. The Pelicans got Jordan Poole. Zion looks the best he ever has. Sadiq Bey is a great addition off the bench. Jeremiah Fears looks really, really good. Herb Jones is still one of the most underrated players in basketball, and so is Trey Murphy. Yeah, they're going 43-39. They'll be a forgettable play-in loser. Sorry, guys. And just saying this now, don't fall for the Zion propaganda. Do not fall for the Zion propaganda. It is what, year 5 of this? Don't fall for the Zion propaganda. The Knicks had nothing of note besides getting Jordan Clarkson and a coach that knows how to substitute basketball players. You know, like in a basketball game, you're supposed to like sub them out sometimes. You know, Tom Thibodeau, you're supposed to sub him out. You're supposed to get him off the court. And surprisingly, I think that's honestly all they needed to get over the hump and become elite. I like Mike Brown a lot, honestly. So 61-21, 1 seed in the East for me. OKC was in a bind of contracts, looking like an offseason of nothing but slightly getting worse as all champions face. Yeah, but unfortunately for all lovers of basketball, no, they only got better, of course. They didn't lose anyone, kept their big 3 perfectly intact, and while they gained an uber-talented high draft pick coming back from an injury in Nikola Topic, they find his replacement on IR in Thomas Sorber, who will be making massive plays in the NBA Finals in just a few years, so prepare for that. That's great. People really thought they were going to somehow lose Jalen Williams, but no, they re-signed him twice. They re-signed him twice. And as per usual, they murdered it in the draft, right? Nick Clifford was a great pick, even if he landed in Sacramento. And Brooks Barnhizer is going to make every owner question their GM for letting him fall when he reaches his insane potential in the league. I hate the Thunder. 71-11, best team in basketball. The Magic killed it with the Desmond Bane trade, plain and simple. They killed it with nabbing Jace Richardson, and it looks like they're gonna be good enough to somehow make their shitty rebrand iconic with this core. I'm super high on them, nothing more to say, and they get my 3 seed in the East. Every analyst avoids the 76ers like the plague. They all hate having to make a concrete decision and predict this gross amalgamation of an impossible to predict team, but you know what? I'll give it a shot. VJ will be good, not great. Joel Embiid will be great, not good. And when McCain gets back, things will start clicking again for this team. Also, Tyrese Maxey will sneakily become one of the 7 best point guards on the planet, and 43-39 will be their record. They'll get the 5th seed in the East. That's right, I believe in the 76ers. The Phoenix Suns blew it up. I like Kaman Maluach. I feel bad for D-Book. They'll have stretches of games where they look like they could possibly compete soon, and then stretches where they look like a JUCO team, and for that, they'll get the 12th seed. 38-44 will somehow be a 12th seed. The Blazers managed to get Drew Holiday and Dame back, which is weird, and they swung for the fences and got Young Hansen, which is weird, and people somehow think Denny Avdia is a viable number 1 option, which is weirder. Yeah, 29-53, 14th seed, but I like what you're cooking up there, Portland. The Kings make me sad. Light the beam culture is dead for the Sacramento Bulls. They really saw the most mid team of all time in the 2023 Bulls and thought, what if we were them, but midder? Well, the answer is 13th seed, 33-49. The Spurs smashed it out of the park this offseason, strictly based off of their draft, right? Dylan Harper was a supply drop from Papa Silver, but Carter Bryant was a genuinely game-changing pick. In case you haven't already, go check out my video on him. It's a great video. Go watch that, man. The Spurs have just gotten progressively better and more exciting each year, and I think this is the season where they finally start to overflow and the Wemby era gets its cogs turning and its feet off the ground a little bit. 50-32, good for 5th seed in the West. That will be my guess. Colin Murray Boyles is pretty nice. I like Mamu. Scotty Barney, Brandon Xavier Ingram. Everybody seen that clip? Brandon Xavier Ingram. You guys seen that? Yeah, that's pretty much it. 43-39. The Raptors will get the 7th seed. Oscar Tshiebwe, man. Oscar Tshiebwe. Oscar. Oh, Oscar. I was just starting to dream the silliest and softest of dreams. Sorry, I just wish I was in a universe where Oscar Tshiebwe was good at basketball still. Anyways, Ace Bailey is going to be a really damn good player to no one's surprise, I hope. Walter Clayton has the makings of a generational shot chucker, and he's in an open gym pretty much out in Utah. And also, don't you dare sleep on John Tonje. Central High School legend John Tonje, okay? I like their young guys. I don't like all their senior citizens they swept up, but whatever. A rebuild is a rebuild, and they'll get 17 wins probably, so the worst team in the West by far. The Washington Wizards lineup this season is going to run like puke, but Trey Johnson might just be enough to make them watchable. Also, I like Cam Whitmore a lot on this team. That being said, 26-56. They're not sniffing a winning basketball team. All right, that is every single NBA team and move explained, and now what you're seeing is my predictions for the season. I don't have the time to go over every single one. You guys don't want to see that, but yeah, Cooper Flagg will underwhelm but still win Rookie of the Year. Matas Buzelis is going to become a real threat in the East. The Nuggets will dethrone the seemingly unbeatable Thunder in a massive upset and then go on to beat the Knicks in the finals and crush everyone's hopes and dreams whilst Nikola Jokic solidifies himself as the greatest basketball player that breathes. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think of these predictions you see on screen. And yeah, you are officially now ready to go and watch some basketball this year. Just make sure you don't watch the Nets or watch them with a trusted adult, please. Okay, all right, that's enough. Get out of here. Subscribe. It's free.